3 weeks ago today, a local sheriff convened a press conference to announce that there was a big new COVID outbreak at a county jail in Raymond, Mississippi, just outside the state capital of Jackson. Sheriff Lee Vance announced at that press conference that they'd randomly done tests of 188 people at the jail, both prisoners and staff. Of those 188 random tests, 74 of them turned out to be COVID positive. 60 prisoners and 14 staff. 2 days after that press conference, that sheriff himself, the man who'd made the announcement about the outbreak in the jail, he himself tested positive for COVID. The day after that, the spokesman for that sheriff's office announced that he too had tested positive for COVID. A week after that, the second in command at that sheriff's office, the undersheriff of Hinds County, a man named Alan White, he not only tested positive for COVID, he was hospitalized with it. 4 days after that, the sheriff himself died from COVID, Sheriff Lee Vance, age 63 years old. This is all in Hinds County, Mississippi, the most populous county in the state, home to the state capitol in Jackson. The local paper there is the Clarion Ledger. This is their front page today. You see that big headline across the top. Undersheriff will get vaccine. Well, that backstory is what that tragedy that's unfolded over the last couple of weeks there. Hinds County Undersheriff Alan White returned to the sheriff's office yesterday after spending 4 days in the hospital with double pneumonia after testing positive for COVID-19. White, who is unvaccinated, said his experience with the virus over the past few weeks has made him a believer in the vaccine. In addition to becoming extremely ill and getting hospitalized himself, Alan White lost his boss and friend, Sheriff Lee Vance, to COVID last Wednesday. White said, quote, "I get it's a controversial issue as far as the vaccination goes. I understand mandates and my body, my choice as an individual. I can only speak from personal experience. And what I believe in and what I recommend to everyone is get the vaccine." White said his doctors told him because he now has coronavirus antibodies, he doesn't need to be vaccinated for 3 months. Quote, "But after my 90 days are up," he said, "Undersheriff Alan White will be standing in line with his sleeve rolled up." That was the front page of the Clarion Ledger in Jackson, Mississippi today. Across a big swath of the South, the front pages today are like a series of scary movies. I mean, down in Biloxi, Mississippi, down on the Gulf Coast, here's the front page of the Sun Herald today. Coast Hospital sends plea to public as ICUs reach capacity. And then up in column A1 there, the worst is yet to come. The lead there says it was a weakness of sickness and death in Mississippi. That headline is a quote from the Mississippi State Health Officer, Thomas Dobbs, who says, quote, "We are rapidly depleting our hospital resources. The worst is yet to come in Mississippi. Please get vaccinated." Over in Arkansas, here's the front page today of the Democrat Gazette. After record admissions, ICUs down to the last 8 beds. Only 8 intensive care unit beds were available in the state of Arkansas Monday. And the hospitalizations of COVID-19 patients jumped by the largest daily increase yet to the largest daily total yet since the pandemic began. In Louisiana, here's the front page of the Advocate from Baton Rouge today. Delta variant driving surge in hospitalizations. Quote, "We just don't know how far this is going to go." And then listen to this from that front page article. Quote, "At Children's Hospital in New Orleans, there were 12 children hospitalized with COVID as of Monday morning, half of whom were under the age of 2. 3 of the child patients were on mechanical ventilators, including a 1-month-old infant." Over in Alabama, the Decatur Daily's front page also leads with how sick kids are getting right now. Younger residents in hospital as infections rise. It's the same idea right now in Florida. Here's the front page today of the Florida Times-Union, which is out of Jacksonville. Baptist Health admitting more kids. Children admissions for COVID double in a week. Quote, "The number of patients, including children, hospitalized because of the coronavirus in Jacksonville continues to rise just 1 day before local schools reopen their doors." Baptist Health in Jacksonville saying this time last week they had 10 kids hospitalized for COVID. In 1 week, though, that's gone from 10 kids to 21 kids hospitalized, including 6 kids in the ICU in that one hospital. Jacksonville. In Pensacola, Florida today, the Pensacola News-Journal front page is a photo of this very brave 14-year-old getting her shot at the Brownsville Community Center. They put that over that stark headline, "Virus hospitalizations break all-time record." Speaking of Florida, the federal government today did send 200 ventilators and 100 other high-flow oxygen machines to the state of Florida to help Florida deal with its record number of COVID hospitalizations. The Republican governor in Florida, Ron DeSantis, is, as of now, not just insisting, but threatening personal retaliation against school district officials who require masks as kids come back to class. Those same kinds of fights are brewing in Texas as well, where Texas Governor Greg Abbott just had to ask state hospitals to pare back and restrict elective surgeries to make space for all the sick people with COVID in Texas hospitals. He also just authorized the state health department to hire in extra medical staff from out of state to alleviate some of the burden on Texas's overrun hospitals and medical staff. But nevertheless, the front pages in Texas today are just as stark, right? Both in terms of the scale of the problem and the inability and unwillingness to fight it. In Austin, ICU beds projected to fill up in Austin soon. In Beaumont, Texas, new high in COVID hospitalizations. In Galveston, Texas, 2 Galveston County pastors die with COVID-19. In Houston, tents pop up at LBJ Hospital as Delta pushes Harris County Health near capacity. In San Antonio, more children with COVID going to hospitals as Delta spreads. In Dallas, look at this big front page above the fold headline. Abbott's order defied. County challenges ban on mask mandates. Dallas School District requires coverings. Dallas and San Antonio are 2 big Texas cities that have sued the Texas Republican governor, Greg Abbott, after he has tried to ban any locality or any school district from having a mask mandate. Well, today, San Antonio got somewhere with that. They won a ruling from a judge in Bexar County who issued a temporary restraining order against Governor Greg Abbott and his mask ban for all Texas localities and schools. That judge's order will, at least for now, allow San Antonio and Bexar County itself to require masks in schools.